Alright, welcome back everybody. We are going to do a pod review today for you, and it's going to be on this pepper right here. And this is called the Ahi Omnicolor Pepper. And I do believe it is a baccatum because you can see the way they swing. So, these pods are literally taking forever to ripen. I'm probably going to have to start bringing my plants in way before these half of my plants in my greenhouse come to fruition. So, there's a few left that I can probably get away with doing pod reviews out here, and then the rest will have to be done, I guess, indoors, or I can just come out here and do them or something. But it's the end of the year, and we're winding down, and all the plants are starting to drop all the leaves, so I got to do some pruning. I got some stuff to do. But this one's ready, and this is called the Ahi Omnicolor. Now, I don't know that much about it, but it is quite a beautiful pepper. So basically they go from like a light green cream color like this, and then they kind of start turning into like that. You start getting a little orange in them, and they slowly get more orange like that, and then eventually they get really orange like that, and then they turn like to a deep orange, almost red, or even red if you will. If you leave them on there long enough, they'll probably just turn red. So we got one that's ready. Have to break the whole plant to get that one off. Isn't that nice? Yeah, look at that. That is an Ahi Omnicolor that is ripe and ready to be tested. I'm curious to see what this tastes like. I know it's a baccatum, but I don't know. There's something strange about this one. And why do they call it Ahi Omnicolor? I don't know. I guess because it goes from the bone to like an orange and then red. I don't know. All peppers kind of do that, if you ask me. Well, that's what they named it, the Ahi Omnicolor. So let's get into a little bit better light. Get past our big dumbbell. I got to get this thing off of here. This thing weighs about 30 pounds. If that thing hits my foot, it's going to break my toes. So I got to figure out how to get that thing off before I put myself in the hospital. All right, so here we are. Ahi Omnicolor. And trying to give you a best view. There's really no sun today, so I'm not sure how well this is actually coming out. I'm assuming you could see this pretty good. It's really hard to tell what light it's going to be until I get it into the editor, and then I can be like, oh, I should have been outside, or let me see, let's go outside. And so yeah, it's a good pepper. So let's turn you around and give that bad boy a go. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a pot review today. It's going to be on this pepper right here, and this is called the Ahi Omnicolor, and it is a baccatum. That's about all I know about it. And they basically go from a cream to an orange, eventually to a deep orange or red, if you will, and that's when they're ripe. This is a semi-popular pepper, so you'll pretty much be able to find this pepper anywhere online. But I figured I'd give it a go and do a review on it and kind of see what it tastes like. I'm pretty sure it should taste like a baccatum because it is a baccatum. But so a lot of these bacatums lately, some of these really odd ones, they don't even have the flavor of a baccatum. So anyway, that is it. All right, I tried to show it to you. I tried to show it to you earlier, but I do this because I don't know what part of the film you're going to get the best lighting and the best angles. You don't know until you get it in the editor. I can't see on the stupid little screen that they give you. Don't ever buy a Sony. So that's it right there. Ahi Omnicolor. Now these plants can get quite big and really put out an absolute ton of pods. If you plant these things outdoors in really good soil and you water it and fertilize it and everything, these will get absolutely enormous. And well, I mean, when I say enormous, I'm not so much talking about height, but they really spread out. They might get about 3 to 4 feet tall, and then they spread out really wide. They can get as wide as they do tall and really put out millions of these things. So, I mean, if you want millions of peppers, you can do that, or you can grow like I do. I generally keep my plants pretty small because I generally don't need 1,000 of these pods that I have to actually clean. That could take like a week just for that one plant because there's so many pods. You are literally there for days getting seed from that. It's a lot of work, believe me when I tell you. So I don't personally need that many of these pods, but if you want, you can grow that plant outdoors and really bump up the amount of pods that come off of that plant. So anyway, there it is. Let's give it a bite. Ooh, there's heat going right up into the sinuses. Let's get into the flavor first. We'll talk about the heat, let that build a little. Okay, so first of all, it has a baccatum flavor. Overall, it has that Ahi Peruvian type flavor. Now, it does have a little bit different of a taste. It doesn't quite taste like your typical, orange starfish or red starfish or Ahi Amarillo. It doesn't have that typical baccatum flavor. This one has a typical flavor as a baseline, but there's something else going on with that flavor. It's like got like this rich, almost cayenne type flavor as an overtone to the baseline of that baccatum flavor. The heat's coming in a little bit. It's a very nice tasting pepper, I'm going to be honest with you. It's almost like a combination between a baccatum and a chianti, almost, or an anum. Has not a chianti, more like an anum. Has like a cross flavor between like the baccatum flavor and say a maybe possibly cayenne or even a bird pepper type flavor. It's very nice. I wish I had a few more I could bite into and take. I got a little more here. It's got a nice flavor, guys. It's a really nice little baccatum. It's definitely slightly different than your typical baccatum. It's definitely not like an Ahi Amarillo like I have here. You can see these massive Ahi Amarillos just waiting to ripen. It doesn't quite have that flavor. Those Ahi Amarillos are very classic, typical baccatum type flavor. This is going more into like something a little bit more exotic. It's good though. It's a good little pepper, to be honest with you. Now let's talk about that heat. Okay, so the heat is generally a typical type of baccatum burn. It's a warm glowing effect, kind of heats up, warms up the whole front end of your mouth. Very little on the lips, but it's all where you chew it. So I generally, when I do my pod reviews, I try to chew it up front, or I chew it on one side of my mouth, depending. Like when I do pod reviews on chiantis, I usually chew it on one side of my mouth to see if that heat will gravitate to the other side. Sometimes it doesn't. With a lot of these bacatums, because bacatums generally have a low heat burn. They're not. I don't care what anybody tells you. All bacatums are cooking you off the chart. I've never had a baccatum that was probably any hotter than say 20,000, 30,000. That was like the hottest baccatum I had. So in general, with bacatums, I generally chew it up front to really let that concentration of heat work its way back and see what it does. And then when you swallow it, you'll know if it's going to give you a tingle in the back. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on how sudden that juice from when you chewed it up got to the back of your throat. If it's like an instant thing that goes to the back, you will get a baccatum burn on the back of your throat, and it feels really good. A baccatum burn in the back of your throat feels really, really good. It's very soothing, but you don't always get it, and it's kind of unpredictable. Sometimes they'll do it. You got to like bite it, get the juice out right away, and swallow it right down, and then it hits the back of your throat. That's the way it seems like it works for me. If I sit there and chew it, slowly swallow it, if it's a lower heat baccatum, you're not even going to feel it. But this baccatum has this Aji Omnicolor, should I say, has a pretty much typical type of glowing burn. It works from the whole front because I chewed it up here, and it kind of works its way back, and that's really it. It only goes back, a third of the way from my front of my mouth backwards, and that's it. When I say the whole front of my mouth, I'm referring to like the lips, the gums, the front of the tongue. It's really, the tongue is really stinging a little bit more than anything. The tongue, because I have to keep the stuff in the middle as I chew it up. So as I do that, the tongue is really getting the brunt of it. But that's kind of worked its way back about maybe a third way down the tongue, and that's really it. It's not a hot pepper at all, really. I mean, it's not a real hot pepper at all. Now, if I was to put a Scoville on that, how hot was that? I'd probably go maybe 2,000 to 3,000, something like that. Can they get hotter? If you grow them outdoors, you might be able to get them up to like maybe between 5, 6, 7,000, I guess, Scovilles. I haven't grown it enough for me to definitively say, yeah, it'll get to 10,000 if you grow it this way or do that with it. I haven't grown it enough. It's my first year growing it, so I don't have a long growing experience, a long history with it. The flavor really came out to me. That's what really caught my attention, is that flavor. Like I said, it has a baccatum baseline flavor, but then there's an overtone. I usually say undertones, but in this particular case, it was like an overtone of like some kind of either bird pepper or possibly even a cayenne type of flavor on top of that, which was really nice. It was a real nice, pleasant experience. It wasn't real acidy or anything like that. It was very nice. Definitely worth a grow if you're not somebody who grows a lot of baccatums and you're looking to get into baccatums. This is a good one to do. And then, you know, you got the Ahi Peruvian. The Ahi Peruvian, very similar to the Ahi Omnicolor. I would almost say they're the same thing, but they're not. Ahi Peruvians are a little bit longer and they're skinnier. They're not quite the same thing, but they mature in color-wise very same way. They come out bone, and then they turn, or they actually start off green really early on. Then they turn to a bone color, and then they go through the light orange and then the darker orange color. They kind of do the same kind of phase thing, but they're almost the same thing. So if you can't get the Ahi Omnicolor, then see if you could get the Ahi Peruvian. That's another one. That's an extremely heavy producing variety. That thing will put out literally hundreds, if not even thousands of pods for one plant. It'll be more than you can ever process. I can tell you that out of experience. But that's a good pepper too. But this Ahi Omnicolor, I thought it was more of an ornamental type of pepper, to be honest with you. But it seems to be a very good source of a spice pepper if you want to use it for like spicing up food and stuff like that. In my opinion, this would probably make a really good type of spice pepper. So it wouldn't just be for ornamental purposes. It's more you can use it for culinary and you can use it for ornamental. Again, I haven't grown this plant to its full stage. Next year we're going to plant a lot of these outdoors. So hopefully then we'll get to see what these plants can fully do with their full size and everything. And so we'll focus on that next year. But I don't know. That's it, guys. That's about it with the review. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put whatever information I got in the description below and on the website. I am also going to put a link below in the description where it'll take you over to the website and you can buy the seeds if you decide that you want to give it a grow. So hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.